Hey, hardcore Chris Mahana Kwanzaa, dudes and dudettes. Hardcore Kid here. And hey, just the other day, I watched Fox's live musical adaptation of A Christmas Story. It was fucking terrible. What is it with these big-budget networks trying to cash in on a beloved classic and trying to make it into a spectacle with over-the-top songs and creepy stalker Matthew Broderick? I mean, with Fox's live version of Grease and Rocky Horror, I understand, since they're musicals. But why A Christmas Story? A movie that isn't even a musical to begin with. What's next? Are they going to make Home Alone the musical? Or how about Die Hard the musical? Oh wait, they did that already. But as lame as these reimaginings are, how bad are they compared to the live-action A Year Without a Santa Claus film? Oh yeah, that was a thing. The 1974 Rankin Bass film has gained quite a bit of a cult following in its 44 years of existence. The story itself is simple. Santa Claus falls ill and decides to take a sabbatical when he feels nobody cares about Christmas anymore. Mrs. Claus gets put in charge while two elves named Jingle and Jangle end up in Southtown, USA, where they meet a kid named Iggy and try to get snow for the town. How do they get it? Well, that's what the movie is most famous for. The Miser Brothers, Snow Miser and Heat Miser. Whenever you hear them sing that song, it becomes stuck in your head for all eternity. The characters themselves are kinda creepy, but they're also really funny, and they take a relatively mundane story and make it quite entertaining. Which brings us to the live-action Year Without a Santa Claus film, which aired on NBC on December 11th, 2006. You may be wondering, were NBC trying to get in on the big musical craze themselves? No, it was just a way for Ron Underwood to bury himself even further into the basement after the failure of Pluto Nash. So how does this movie hold up? Well, considering I put it on my top 10 worst Christmas specials list, I think you'd be able to take the hint. But let's roll the footage anyway, and just see how bad it really is. So the movie begins not at Santa's workshop, but actually a toy expo. Yes, if you haven't guessed, this is yet another modernization of the classic. Kind of like what they did with Fat Albert and Top Cat. And if you think they're not going to be shoving the tech bug down your throat, boy, you don't watch this show much, do you? Cut to the back where we see Santa Claus, played by John Goodman, getting set up.
3 words. Gastric bypass surgery.
That's it. One more bad joke and on a bypass you right out that door.
Not a bad casting choice, actually. John Goodman always does a good job portraying angry, disgruntled dudes.
You are a controlling...
Just keep him away from tables. And, other breaky things. Chris Kattan plays Santa's little helper, Sparky. He's basically Bernard. If Bernard was played by Chris Kattan.
The world's changing. Now, we could either change with it, or okay, that's... Look, will you stop worrying? Give me a hug. Can you hear me now? Everybody go. Out, go. Go. Hey, go.
This character was neither in the original movie or the book. He's just here to be an annoying jackass and pad this movie out to 80 minutes. Fuck. Which leads us to the Jingle and Jangle of this movie, played by one of the most bizarre duos I've ever seen, Ethan Suplee and Eddie Griffin.
Love this time of year. Just look at all of it.
Cool! Could you play the My Name is Earl finale on that thing? Also, way to show that I could be watching much better Christmas films, like the fucking original. This movie doesn't waste any time introducing the cast, because now we meet Iggy Thistlewhite.
All these great people are getting ready for the new Southtown Christmas Festival.
It's the first festival in 20 years, and you're the organizer. That's a pretty big job for a 10-year-old.
I'm just happy to help bring back this great tradition.
What happened to the original festival, Iggy?
Changing demographics, a shrinking tax base, official indifference.
I have no idea what's more forced, the woman's terrible southern accent or Iggy's extreme right-wing philosophy. Well, it turns out in this version, he's now the son of the mayor of Southland Tales and is apparently trying to transition into Ronald T. Rump. God help us if he does. So back with Santa, who's trying out all these newfangled tech gizmos, like a virtual reality headset that lets you play Ace Combat 4, a bunch of goth Bratz knockoffs, and a transformer that explodes. What kind of twisted company would create such dangerous toys for kids? So the premise is similar to the original, in that Santa feels that this new generation of kids don't seem to believe or care about Santa anymore, and are only expecting to get all their gifts from their families, so he turns to, "Hello, MILF Miss Claus!"
All anybody cares about are gigabytes, action heroes, accessories. I don't fit in anymore.
People do still care about Christmas. There's a whole world full of people down there who love you. I think you forget that sometimes. My daughter's an honor student.
If you ask me, Santa, you suck! Santa, you suck!
Really? A bunch of Blink-182 wannabes? Weren't they broken up at that point? So Santa decides to take some time off, while Jingle and Jangle decide to head out and prove to Santa that there are kids who still believe in him.
You know what could change Santa's thinking? A real little Earth boy with true Christmas spirit.
I wonder where we get one of those.
Super subtle screen wipe! So Mrs. Claus goes to Sparky to see what they can do about the holiday.
What if we postponed or rescheduled Christmas in July?
Christmas in July?
I know. That's what I said. I literally said that to myself. I said, Christmas in July?
Perfect! We can do a live-action Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, but with Nick Jonas as Rudolph and Kevin Spacey as Frosty!
Things have changed. And now I have to deal with the facts on the ground, okay? And the facts are, Santa's in bed, covers over his head, ready to blow off Christmas.
He'll get over it.
I hope so. But I'd be lying to myself if I said I didn't see this coming. And I don't lie. I tried that. It doesn't work for me. It just ate my cup of Swissness.
You know what? Shut up. I'm sick of listening to you, bitch. Skipping! We cut to Jingle and Jangle at the Divide with Vixen, who have wandered right into a battle between Heat Miser and Snow Miser, played by Harvey Fierstein and Michael McKean, respectively. So how badly did they fuck these characters up?
I'm Mr. Green Christmas. I'm Mr. Sun. I'm Mr. Heat Blister. I'm Mr. 101.
Bad enough that Heat Miser has the voice of Tom Waits.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. Tenderloin. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch. I'm too much.
You know, I may have shit on McKean for his performance in Casper: A Spirited Beginning, but you know what? The man is talented, and his performance as the Snow Miser actually is fairly decent. It's much better than Sir Smoke 20 Packs a Day is trying to belt out.
Too much.
Eventually, Jingle and Jangle make it to Southtown, where hijinks ensue and Vixen gets arrested. The two eventually meet Iggy at his school.
We're here because we need to find a kid that believes in the true spirit of Christmas. If we don't, it'll be a year without Santa Claus.
Santa Claus? I think you two are looking for the preschool.
Our hero, dudes and dudettes! He's every spoiled millennial you see trying to steal candy from blind kids.
Are you ready to meet Santa?
I would be, except I don't believe in Santa Claus.
How can you not believe in Santa Claus?
He's too young to think so old.
By God! He just did a Northern Lights suplex catch! Santa Claus must be real! But Iggy isn't convinced, so they try to make it up to him by playing Dance Dance Revolution and winning a bunch of tickets at Arctic Thunder. Okay, dude, I've played Arctic Thunder before. It doesn't blow snow, and it doesn't give tickets. But either way, they gain Iggy's trust. Back at the North Pole, everyone discovers that Jingle and Jangle are missing, and now Santa has to go look for them. I will say one positive about Mrs. Claus in this film is that, unlike in the original, she acts more responsible here, and didn't think about sending Jingle and Jangle out to where they could have easily gotten hurt by the Miser brothers. That is me being generous, because other than that, Mrs. Claus is useless in this film. She says nothing of value, she doesn't join Santa or the elves on their adventures in the second and third acts, and half the time plays second fiddle to Sparky, who, again, not in the original, is just cranking up the annoyance levels to 101.
Get my sleigh loaded. We're gonna pay a little call on the Miser brothers.
I can't believe it. I was just gonna say, Santa, how about you tell me to go load up your sleigh, then we could pay a call on the Miser brothers. Isn't that crazy? I was just gonna say that. That's like
Sparky.
telepathy. That's loony that happened.
Go!
Hey, that reminds me. I have to go write my letter to Santa. Dear Santa Claus, for Christmas this year, I would like $1 million, peace on Earth and New Jersey, and an all-expense-paid trip to Tokyo, Japan for Wrestle Kingdom 12. Love, HK. P.S. Can you kindly kill Chris Kattan for me?
Awesome!
I love Christmas. So Santa and Sparky head out to find Jingle and Jangle. Their first stop is the Divide, where the Miser brothers are, reenacting Mayweather-McGregor.
All right, the fight is over. Santa! Hey! Help! Give me some help! Help! Over here! Help!
Even Dave Meltzer would give this -6.25 stars. So when the brothers won't stop bickering, Santa summons Mother Nature, played by Carol Kane.
Oh, I sense some stormy seas. Tell Mother Nature, what's troubling you?
Yeah, Carol, I believe they're filming Scrooge live in the other soundstage.
I can't tell you. It is a pleasure to meet you. The name's Sparky the Elf.
Oh, you know, most people bow when they meet Mother Nature.
I've cursed Mother Nature for years for all the blizzards and hurricanes, but seeing Sparky in pain makes her over with me. So Cocaine gives Santa a cheap map that shows that the elves have gone to Southtown. Back with our drunken dildos, Iggy helps get Vixen out of the pound and learns that she is, in fact, a legit reindeer. Santa finally makes it to Southtown, but is a little bit too late to save Vixen.
I think you've got my reindeer.
No, I don't.
Are you sure? About yay high? Answers to the name of Vixen?
Well, you're too late, because someone already got her.
Who?
Who wants to know?
I do.
You know, as bad as this movie has been, John Goodman is still the best part of it. You can kind of tell he's phoning it in, but at least he's still trying to be subtle and passionate about it. And that, you know what? That still makes him great.
I remember you from when you were a little boy. You never made my list.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting for that BB gun, Santa.
You'll shoot your eye out. Ouch!
The dipshits who wrote this movie wouldn't know subtlety if it shot them right in the face. Did they make A Christmas Story live too? So eventually Santa finds Vixen and the elves, and they get to work setting up the town for the Christmas party.
We was just trying to help.
Well, you shouldn't have bothered. Now, come on. Let's get you and Vixen home.
Wait, Santa, there's someone we need you to meet.
Iggy Thistleway.
That's right. How'd you know?
I'm the man.
I rule the world now, bitch! Iggy finally meets Santa and tells him that for Christmas, he wants it to snow in Southtown. Realizing that this is a big task, Santa has to go visit the Miser brothers, and it's at this point where we realize this movie's most glaring flaw. Santa is the one doing all the work! There is a reason why the title of this movie is The Year Without a Santa Claus. It's because Santa was sick in bed, and Mrs. Claus, Iggy, and the elves had to do all the work to show him that kids still believed in him. In this movie, Santa's been in bed, I don't know, a day? And since then, he's had to rescue Jingle and Jangle, prepare the town for Christmas, and now he has to confront the Miser brothers in order to bring snow to Southtown. There is nothing without Santa about this movie. In fact, I can think of a much better title, like How Santa Got Lazy, Then Changed His Mind and Saved Christmas, or The Year Santa Got Off His Lazy Ass and Did Something, or The Christmas That Nearly Was, Until Santa Fixed Everything. Screw it, there's only 20 minutes left. Let's finish this thing. Santa heads to Heat Miser's lair and tries to talk him into lowering the heat in Southtown.
I need you to turn the heat down in Southtown so your brother can make it snow there.
What? Snow in the deep south? Never! Haven't the mortals messed with the weather enough? Why should I help them screw it up more?
I'll make it worth your while. Remember a Christmas wish you made when you were a little kid and I wouldn't give it to you?
The flamethrower?
No, not the flamethrower.
The little isotope nuclear reactor kit.
Bring back Sergeant Bash for Series 11? So Santa promises to let Firestein heat up the North Pole in exchange for bringing snow to Southtown. To do this, they call up Snow Miser.
Snow Miser, your brothers agreed to turn down the heat at Southtown so you could make it snow there.
What?
Of course, there'd be a small concession.
Huh. What did that flaming fool want this time? The North Pole?
As a matter of fact, that happens to be the small concession I asked for.
What?
Oh, come on! This was one of the best scenes in the original. The banter between the brothers was hilarious. Here, it's just completely flat. Both of them don't even give a shit anymore. Dare I say they're phoning it in? Anyway, the brothers finally get their act together. Sparky does stuff, and I'm skipping his scenes because I don't care. We finally get snow in Southtown, and Iggy gets to celebrate with his dad, and everyone goes back to the North Pole to celebrate. Woo!
What are you doing, woman?
After all the trouble you caused us, you don't think I'm going to let you go alone, do you?
I would welcome the company, Mrs. Claus.
You didn't do a damn thing in this movie, so I'm letting you ride shotgun as a consolation prize. Rev up your Harley, Puddin'. And so the movie ends with the Clauses, elves, and geeks from SantaCon having a relaxing post-Christmas vacation at the now warmed-up North Pole.
You've convinced me the world still needs old Santa.
And it always will.
I promise there'll never again be a year without Santa Claus.
Which there never was, Jack Frostass! You helped the town, fixed the weather, and still managed to deliver presents all on Christmas Eve. I gotta say, that is some hardcore Santa MLG right there. Hardcore Santa MLG.
My dope man, my dope man, my dope man.
Yeah. 5. Yeah. 5.
This movie deserves to be buried under a pile of coal and set on fire. This sucked! This movie is another prime example of why it's better to just watch the original rather than some tampered imitation. No effort was put into this film. A lot of the sets look very cheap and phony. The performances range from lifeless to painful, and the title is a total lie. How can it be a year without Santa Claus when the big elf is working his fat ass off to help everyone in this thing? Such a waste of talented people like John Goodman and Ethan Suplee, who I've seen in a lot of other stuff, and they can be really funny. But here, they're condemned to an awful script and a complete lack of imagination. Just like Tom and Jerry and the Chocolate Factory, or A Christmas Story Live, or hell, even A Christmas Story 2, it's best to just ignore these stupid reboots and go watch the original, because it is definitely worth watching over this stupid cash-in. Hardcore headache at the end of a year full of headaches. Well guys, I hope you all at least had a decent 2017. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus, and I'll see you guys in 2018. Peace out.
Merry Christmas, I don't